What's up, y'all? So I know that I got some apologies to make. Normally I like to try to stay on like a 2-week upload, schedule, but man, my life with my daughter has just been gangbusters as she transitions into like being able to be recruited for college and things like that. We have to go like hell for like 8-10 weeks, and I can't do anything else really in life at that point in time, let alone sit down for hours at a time and edit. I'm gone in a different state, it seems like, every weekend. So I kind of failed y'all in that respect. I apologize for that. The videos that I did get to put out, the content was a little bit monotonous, and I get that too. The editing, probably not as good as I normally would have liked to have done, because I was just trying to get y'all some content out. I understand that maybe they were a little bit slow. I promise going forward, I'm going to try harder to get things back on schedule. I also had a problem with my computer. My editing software completely went kaput. I've had to change editing software, so be patient while I figure that out. I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy, not so much. I'm an analog man living in a digital world, and I do the best I can. I'm figuring it out slowly but surely. This is going to be my first video with my new editing software. I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to try hard to get back on my 2-week upload schedule. I hope y'all bear with me. I hope you like the content that I'm putting out. I'll try to get the videos back to a high quality and keep them moving and keeping you interested. So with all that said, let's get into it. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I like the way this has a hole in it. My thought is that I could wrap it around this, and then right here at the edge, I could kind of bend it up at 90 degrees, put a bolt through it with a washer, then wrap it around, and then kind of come up a little bit short on this other side, bend it up at 90 degrees with a washer and a nut, kind of cinch them together, tighten it around the tank. I think that will work good. Now, this stuff isn't really thick. Like I said, it's only like 18 gauge. So I was thinking, it would be easy for this to maybe kind of mushroom that hole and kind of try to pull through. So I had this old flat bar sitting around here, and it looks like I can drill a hole in this flat bar the right size. So what I could do is actually I can just come through, I can drill a hole in this flat bar, I can just cut a little piece off of it right there, sit it right here, bend the 90 degrees on it, kind of weld the top of the flat bar to the top edge where I cut it, and that should give me a nice little piece to tighten into on both ends. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get to work drilling some holes. I'm going to go in and get the hole drilled and get this cut, and then we'll come back when I get ready to kind of start attaching it, so you can kind of hopefully get a little bit better idea for what I'm thinking here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so I got these little guys cut, and they're nothing special. I got the holes drilled in them, and like I said, they are nothing special, but I think they will work exactly like I need them to. So I got a little Allen head bolt right here. So I think to bend this the way that I want, I'm going to put my little bolt through here, then put me a nut on the other side. I even went ahead and cut off the end of the strap, and I left it just a little bit long. I mean, just like a millimeter long. That way I got kind of a little shelf there to kind of burn a weld onto. This ain't gonna be, anything special, but I think if I do it like this, I think it'll help me to be able to bend this thing the way that I want. All right, so now, what do I think will be the easiest way to get this done? Probably put it in the vise. I wonder if I could just take a pair of pliers and just do it. It's so long, it's very cumbersome to mess with. I got this guy cut apart, ready to go. It's long and it's flimsy, which makes it a bit of a pain in the butt. But I kind of feel like if I grabbed it with a pair of pliers, I could probably bend it over and do exactly what I want to do here. So we'll try that first. Luckily, should be a lot longer than I need, so if I screw this deal up, I can just cut it off and try again. Let me get a pair of pliers. Oh, you know what? I might have the perfect thing. I rigged up these vice grips years ago when I was welding up a whole bunch of pipe. Oh man, look at there. Hey, that's good business right there now. Let's see here. Well, it didn't go exactly the way I had imagined, but it's not bad. I think that'll work if the other side bends just like that. Now, what I could probably do now is take a hammer, kind of bump it down, see if it'll kind of sharpen it up a little bit, because when it bent, instead of it bending right against that little piece of steel like I wanted it to, it kind of went down to where the hole was right here, whereas a little less steel kind of bent there, which is, I don't know, probably 1/4 of an inch up. So if I could tap this down, that's actually working very well. So if I wanted to get this exactly perfect, I should have done it in the vise. I see that now. If you remember back when we were bending all the little panels for the floor and everything, that was what I used, and it worked really, really good. I think this will work though. What I would have liked to have had was a piece of angle iron. That would have been perfect. We'll see how it works though. I think it'll work. I think it'll be fine. So now we just got to figure out how far. So basically, gonna need to bolt that in place and wrap this around the tank, and then get an idea for where it's gonna meet, that way we can figure out where I need to put the hole. So I guess first thing I need to do is I'm gonna get a grinder, clean up where we kind of pretty that up a little bit. Then we'll put the bracket back on the frame, and we'll see about wrapping around the tank, see where we're at. Alrighty, so look at that. That came out super cool. Didn't take me just a second to grind it either. I mean, the guy that cut it must have just done a hell of a job. Alright, so let's slide this guy around here. Now of course I've got my little piece of wood right where that strap's gonna have to be. So I'm gonna have to move this guy. Make sure there's not hitting anything under there. Feels like it is, and it is. All right, there we go. It's probably nowhere near where I need it to be, but we can move it as needed. All right. There's one. There's that. Let's snug these up. This is all the stuff that you don't ever get to see in the other videos, all the little time-consuming stuff. Fit it, test fit it, fit it, test fit it, fit it, test fit it. Ooh yeah. Daggone, that is nice right there now. I mean, really, really, really nice. All right, so I'm thinking I want that bolt to be right here, so let's go over and grab our strap. See if I can cinch this down just a little bit. Gonna make it as realistic as possible here. Well, that actually cinched up pretty snug. Oh man, that's gonna look good. Let me get my strap. Alright, so it's gonna kind of work a little roundy round into this guy. The opposite direction of the way it wants to go right now. I think it'll go around it pretty easily. I don't think it'll be too tough. I don't want to put any hard bends in it, so. Oh man, hey, this is gonna look really good. All right, so I already see one thing I didn't account for, and that's the 3/16 gap right there, but shouldn't matter as long as I get it pulled up tight. Should not matter. I got all this done, I didn't bring a single thing with me to mark this with. All right, let me go get a pen. Let me move you where you can see a little better here. Oh yeah. All right. Pull her down here. Right there, that's pretty good. So I think maybe, so I think, I don't want to cut it too short, so, oh man, I'm glad I reached under there. So you see one thing I didn't do? I got this white line right here that marks right where this bracket was sitting. I did not line it back up with that. Because what I was hitting underneath is the drain. So I would have cut this thing all kind of messed up. I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't sit right. Now, I feel like, yeah, we're sitting pretty decent. All right, so it feels like I put one hard bend in it right here. I shouldn't have, by accident. The rest of it feels like it's sitting pretty flush. So I need to flatten that out of there. So let me show you what's happening. I accidentally put a tiny kink right there and right there in it, and that right there is stopping me from laying flat. So I need to kind of flex that out of it. That way it can kind of pull itself flat around it. I guess I shouldn't have really tried to pre-bend it. I guess I should have left it alone. All right, there we go. Feeling pretty good about that. I think once we ever kind of get it where we want to be here, we'll be in good shape. All right, feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, that's not too bad. So I gotta cut it close enough because I don't want 9 feet of bolt, but it's also gotta be good enough that it's gonna fit nice and tight. So I have to figure that I'm gonna lose ground here for the bend. So I think I'm gonna try it right here first. Do or die. All right, so I'm gonna go cut this now, and yeah, I'm gonna go cut it and bend that little 90 on the end of it, and see if I can find a long bolt or something, and then we'll come back and see if we can sandwich that together and see if it'll pinch up right. Probably gonna go on and tack this guy on the end right here. That way I don't have both of them trying to fall out on me. So we'll tack this guy in place. I wish I had it tacked on here already because it's kind of a pain in the butt to try to wrap it around. At least I can pull it against it, but I can't do that because I haven't got this final welded yet. But I tell you what I'm gonna do. Actually, yes, I'm gonna go in and cut this and kind of get it, go ahead and get my 90 bent on it and tack this guy in place right here. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so thankfully that did not take too long. It wasn't too big of an ordeal. So now I got a little bit longer, not screw. I mean, not even a bolt this time, it's just a screw, but hopefully all of my guesstimations are correct here. Hey, looking good so far. This is already going much better than I was expecting because I didn't even bring the tools over here to tighten this stuff up because I didn't think it would go that well. Wow. I mean, for the first time I've just thrown it up on here, I am really excited about that. I got a nice little gap I can pull it up, so let me go get a screwdriver and a wrench right quick. See how that goes. That's looking pretty good though. Now, of course, I will find some kind of, you know, nice looking nut and bolt to do this with for a final assembly. I think I'll probably go to like Home Depot or something. They got like a little chrome bolt department there, so I can get some that look really nice. But I mean, so far it's pulling up really good. Looks like it's starting to want to bend it back out a little bit here. I mean, feels pretty good. Maybe not. Yeah, it's definitely not quite there yet. So worst case scenario, what I'm thinking right now is I may have to come back. I welded this all the way down the side on both sides of this one. What I might have to do is buy a small piece of angle iron, the same size as this. That way I can come back and kind of weld it right here. That way it takes the pressure off of right here where the bend is and actually, you know, pulls it across the entire strap right here. Because I think right now, just looking at it, looks like it's wanting to kind of bend it back out and we're nowhere near tight yet. So we'll keep pulling it down and see what we get here. The hope is that it would pull up together, because if so, that would be really good. No, that might work. Feels like it's pulling up pretty good. Oh yeah, it is getting really tight actually. It's actually really, really good. Holy hell. That's just a little bit, that's not moving on the bracket right there. That's just where this isn't all the way tight. I actually think that's gonna work just fine. Yeah, man, I think that's gonna be really good. Sitting nice on our bracket right here. Feels pretty good. It's tight. I mean, it was starting to bend it a little bit, but not too bad. Like if I wanted to come back and put a piece of, if I wanted to do that with the angle iron right there, this one didn't bend at all. This one bent, but I think it's bending because it's wanting to wrap around right here. So actually, if I rolled this out to the side or put it on the back, I think it'll pull together nice. By George, I do believe we've got it. Yeah, as long as I don't put this up here on the top, yeah, it should be just fine. Because right now it's wanting to pull tight and flex this in around the end of this bracket right here. So if I had to put it right on top right here or on the back side where you can't even see it, that'd be perfect. Heck yeah. So now I know what I need for the front one too, so I can just cut it the exact same length. So, I mean, I think that wraps this bracket up then. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna drop this back off. we're gonna final weld this bracket in, which like I said, I'm gonna have to come back and kind of clean up the weld a little bit. So either that or trim this strap just a little bit right here where it's gonna sit. That way it can sit up over this really good. We'll weld this other little piece of metal in right here and do our final weld up here, final weld on the back there. This bracket is donezo, so let's get to finishing this dude up. I'm excited. Shoo! Alright. Let's see here. Alright, so what we have here, man, I fingerprinted the crap out of that, is our bracket all finished up, final welded. I kind of left y'all out of the painting process because I figured you've seen me paint stuff before. So, I mean, I figured you get it. So, we're going to stick this guy up here, stick him in place. See how I got him all prettied up right there? It looks a lot nicer than the big square, rectangular clunkiness that it was. I'm pretty happy with that. So, I'm going to kind of line it up with my mark right here on my tank. And we're going to throw this dude up here and bolt him in place. And I've got the one that goes on the front. I've got it tacked together, so we'll stick it up here and see which one of these hole sets I want to try to line it up with, because there's a lot of holes right there, so I really don't want to drill anymore. So I'm going to try to use some that are there if at all possible. So we're going to get this dude thrown on, and then we'll see about fitting that, that front one up there. That looks really, really good. My washer turned a little bit, but it's okay. I'm real happy with that. So now I just gotta unstick this parking brake cable. I can bring it straight through right here. I wonder if I can do that without having to go through a whole lot here. Yeah. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing right now, but I had this parking brake cable ran kind of right between the frame and the end link for the sway bar, because it was kind of holding it out of the way of the rear end. Now, I do believe I can go right through here, just like that. Boom. Yes! I am all the happy with that. And if I wanted to, I could even put me a little hole down right here. We might do something like that later, but right now, I'm really happy with that. Heck yeah. So now I've got my strap sitting over here. I finished it out, I got it all welded, I painted the ends where I had to weld it, and it's galvanized, so I'm not even gonna paint the whole thing. That way it still is kind of shiny when it wraps around the tank. I've already put like that topper tape like stuff on it. Y'all can see that here in just a little bit. But our next move right now is to get with this front mount over here. I'm glad I went ahead and got the rear one on, because now it's kind of sitting against the tank, kind of holding it from really moving around a whole lot. And we kind of get a good picture here of what it's going to look like final mounted. I'm really happy with that. Let's see. I'm going to stick this through there. Where's that dude coming from? Right there. Reroute this guy right quick. Is that gonna stay out of the way? Well, I'm gonna have to run that back the way it was. this one's not quite long enough to run outside the end length the way I just did the other one. Once I stick it through there. Right as rain, shoot ya. Hey, that looks good. That looks real good. I'll take the camera off the mountain here in a minute, show it to y'all. That turned out really, really good. So let me grab our other bracket and we'll stick them over here right quick. So, same as the other side. It's gonna sit on there. It's basically made exactly the same, except instead of putting the strap to this side of it, I put it to what's gonna be the front side of it. No particular reason other than, I don't know, thought it might look neat. So you got this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. I would like to, I don't know if I'll be able to, but ideally I'd like to use this hole right here and this one since they're already there, because like I said, there's a lot of holes in the frame already. I really don't want to put any more in it, so this one being further out, I'm going to try to get as close to centered on this one as I can. I'm gonna maybe just kind of put me a little eyeball mark down here on the bottom. A little something to go by, that way I can kind of get an idea where the center of each one of those holes is. I mean, roughly, anyhow. I think right there will work. I'm sitting pretty good. Move my tank in just a touch. There we go. Feel pretty good about that. Now I gotta come in though. So basically I'm just kind of trying to hold pressure against it right now to hold it flat to the frame. Right here, I believe I can get my 5/8 bolt in. Right here I can. So now my goal is going to be to mark one or both of them while I hold it in place. And I can't see anything on the back side. Ooh, I did get that one. The other one. Oh man, looks like all these lines are right in the way. Oh, they are. Shoot. Well, that stinks because I cannot get through there to that one. All right, so I got this one marked. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drill the hole for this one. So we can put a bolt in it to hold it in place and we can snug it up. I'll take this bolt loose right here. This is what's holding the lines to the fuel lines and the brake line to the frame on the inside. So I'll take that loose. I can pull it off of there enough so that I can mark this bottom hole, and then we can see where to drill that one. So I'm gonna run and drill this right quick and take this off, and then we'll come back and see about getting that guy marked. Yeah, be right back. And we're back. I'm here to tell you, that black pipe threader stuff that I bought to put on this to drill holes, use it kind of like tap magic, this stuff is fire, man. I mean, I don't understand how it helps, but it does. I'm using a hand drill to drill these holes, and I mean, it is just going right through like it is nothing. It's very, very nice. All right, there we go. So now we got that guy. You know what, I need to put it through from the other side because I gotta cut, we had to cut the other two bolts off. We're gonna have to cut these two. And I can mark this dude. There we go. Just a little long. I mean, they were great for mock-up. I mean, good to have them now, you know. I don't have to go buy bolts, you know, have them in stock, which is nice. Remember this one got a little spatter or something on it. Oh man, really? All right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and mark this dude now. Give me a good guesstimation anyway. Right yonder. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna go cut this off right quick. Then we'll come back and actually bolt this dude on like I said we were going to. I already got the bolts out of the lines and stuff pulled off the back of the frame, so we're just gonna go chop this off right quick. Probably just go ahead and cut the other one too and be done with it. Right back. And just like that, they're all cut and ready to go. Let's see if we can get something going here. Guess it would help if I put the bolts in place. Feels like I'm probably gonna have to cut that washer too. For now, it'll work. Oh yeah. All right. Now let me go get my angle finder right quick. Feels pretty doggone good right there. Oh man. Shoot yeah. That dude is fitting perfect right there. So we're gonna snug him up a little bit. Well, it's kind of pulling it off the frame just a shade. I'm gonna do that. Right yonder. Perfect. Now let me get my pen. We'll mark that bottom hole. Also, make sure, yeah, there is nothing down here that will be in the way of my strap. Mark them the best I can here with these things dead in the way. Well, as good as she's gonna get. So now, this off. I'm gonna go drill this other hole. Luckily the hole in the frame is already a 5/8, so all we gotta do is drill this bottom hole. And so I'm gonna drill this bottom hole. We'll come back and we'll test it, and if it lines up right and all looks well, then we'll just have to final weld it, clean it up, paint it, and then it'll be time to start working on the tank, which is, that's pretty damn cool. I'm pretty stoked about that. So let's get this dude off and go drill it. Oh, all right, so I was just staring at this thing and I just noticed something, that my parking brake cable hooks to these guys, just like that, and it goes through bracket on the frame, right there, and then it's gonna come through here. So I'm going to need a hole in this bracket. So I'm thinking, can kind of eyeball where I'm gonna need one. Right about there. Need to measure how far out that is. Let me find a tape measure. All right. So it looks like we are 1.25 inches out. All right, I'm sure I'll remember that. Nope. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mark this dude. And we're just gonna put a big old hole through the middle of this bracket, just like we did on the back one for the other two pieces. There we go. 1.25 inches. Could probably put it on the other side. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna need to do. So I'll subtract 3/8 of an inch from 1 1/4. And that is going to be 3/8. So about right there. So then we'll get our other mark here in just a minute. Glad I noticed that before I got it all painted and cleaned up and prettied up. I'd have had to do it all over again. Come on, stupid thing. Okay. So, back to where we were. Now, I went ahead. This washer, see where the frame kind of rounds over right here? The top of this washer was kind of hitting it. It was making the bolt kind of run at an angle, which was kind of making it pull my bracket kind of funny. So, put me a little swift cut in my doohickey. Well, hopefully it won't do that. All right. There's this guy. That actually worked out really good. Because this one, when I get my weld laid down, I don't think I'll even have to cut that washer right there. So now I'm getting this guy in, as long as he lines up good. All right, let's put that through from this side. Yeah, yo. I like that. Did I not bring it up? Yeah, there it is. And this is going to be pretty close on these lines. Once it's all in here, I might have to cut a little bit more off the end of this bolt, just to make sure that it doesn't stick out. I don't want that rubbing on my fuel lines or my brake line at all. I don't think I'll have much that I can take off of it, but all right, now how are we sitting? Woo, buddy. Perfecto. Hey, that's cool. You know that line that I put on the frame? Completely gone right now. Man. All right, well, that kind of stinks. Shoot. Well, so we definitely see this will work for sure. So we're ready to do all the final welding on it. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this thing off. I'm going to just kind of figure out right about where my hole's got to be for this piece of this cable to come through. We'll drill that in it. We'll do all our final welding on it and get some paint on it, and then we'll come back when it's time to bolt that guy on. And then we'll be to a really exciting part, because then it's going to be time to kind of figure out where I'm going to put my mount for these airlines to come in. I got a couple of ideas, but I haven't really just exactly nailed down anything yet. And I can't clean up my tank and paint it and get it and have it all, you know, shiny and pretty until I figure out just exactly where all that stuff goes, because I gotta do a bunch of welding in on that to get it done. So should be interesting. So I guess right now I need to go over here and we need to drill a hole in this and then get to some welding. So nothing to it but to do it. So there it is. We're back on it. We're moving. Hey, I understand that sometimes some of the content might seem a little bit monotonous as I kind of sort and think my way through things, but the reality of it is that's what it's like when you build a project, and that's why a lot of people get discouraged. You know, you see these shows where it's like, all right, we're going to mount this air tank, and then they come right back in the next frame and they got these cool ass brackets that they've made, and they just stick it right to the frame and throw some bolts in it, and it's all ready to go. And I get it. It's fun to watch, and the video moves really fast, and they build a whole car in 3 1-hour shows, but that's just not the reality of it in a home shop where you're working on it. No, the reality is that, you know, you're over here sweating trying to drill a 5/8 hole and figure out where to put things and think your way through how to make this bracket and how to make it fit to the tank and how you're going to make this strap and all that. And that's really what I want to showcase in my videos and the things that I do, to show how I think my way through things. That way, if somebody else, one of you guys, runs into the same problems, then you go, oh, well, that's how he did it. Maybe that works for me. I hope you do appreciate the way that I film that. I do try to weed out as much of the, just sitting there staring at it as I can, and to try to keep it moving and keep it interesting. But like I said, that is the real part of building a custom vehicle, is the thinking your way through things. And every little job is different, and it's a new job. Very rarely are two things the same from one vehicle to the next. And that's the reality that we all face when we build cool new stuff. We have to sort it out for ourselves. So I hope you liked it. I hope you'll tune in for the next one. We will see you then.